inspired that new generation. Okay, family, peace out.
Can't wait till you're back on the road. I've been moving, I've been inside kid. So when you're out, you know I got you. Can't wait till you're back on the road.
Greetings and welcome to Boogs Nagas TTV. Tell Truth Vision. Here to control our narrative. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell as videos will be uploaded randomly. Peace, family.
The only way to know if it's a true one is not like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's why
Scrutinize it. And the ones that follow, right, for the ones that follow the deen, these are the real Muslims.
And when you look at the ones who follow the deen, right now they're pastors and prayers. They're not out here trying to fight people.
Okay, but then you have to ask those same
ideology. If you look at the ones who are practicing the deen, you know what I'm saying? You might have other people that are doing other things. And the thing is that, remember, it was a Christian king. It was a Christian king. You understand?
It's a Christian thing to do. You could be able to give refuge to anybody.
But what he also said is he drew a line in the sand.
What would a Muslim land do?
And he said the difference.
What would a Muslim land do?
Well, they're actually ordered to do it.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
They're actually ordered to do it. Even with the polytheists.
Who are we talking about now?
Even in the Quran, even the polytheists that they're fighting, it says if they seek refuge from you, you must pray, you must give them refuge.
Right. Let me explain to you what that verse means. You need to scrutinize it, bro. What that verse means, right? It's talking about Surah 929. It's off the back of the last chapter that was revealed to Muhammad. It's the fighting chapter.
Yeah.
So, you know about this. So all the earliest chapters are the peaceful ones. But when you get to Surah 929 and such like, right? Commanding Muhammad to go out and slaughter those who are non-Muslims until, let me finish, bro.
You're saying
let me finish then. Let me finish. Right? To slaughter those who are non-Muslims, right? And unless they pay the jizya. Now listen, the jizya, you know what that is? Right. The jizya is there as a tax to humiliate Jews and Christians. Listen to me, I can prove it to you. Listen to me. It is only there, right, and available to Jews and Christians. It's not available to pagans or polytheists, right? It's available to Jews and Christians because if they don't want to accept Islam, then they can live as dhimmis, second-class citizens. Let me finish, I'm going to explain what you just mentioned. They can live as second-class citizens, right, and pay the jizya. It's like a protection, extortionate money. Like what the listen, yes. And so when you said to me, so when you said, unless they seek your protection, when you said, here's the point. When you said, unless they seek your protection, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about if the Jews and Christians want your protection and want to pay jizya. Let's talk about it.
Listen, bro.
Bring up the verse.
Listen, bro. It's
Bring up the verse.
Listen what you said. Now let me say what I'm saying. He's talking about the polytheists.
Bring up the verse.
He's talking about the Jews and Christians, and he said if the polytheists seek refuge, you have to give it to them because Allah loves who is righteous. Differently from that, even if you go into jizya, I'm not for the oppression. I'm not for the politics.
You don't want to discuss this, do you?
I'm not dealing with. Let me just explain what I'm saying because you're cutting me, and I'll let you finish your thing.
Go on.
Yeah? I'm not for any political oppression done by. Enforced by religious people. Whether it be Muslim,
Yeah. Non-Muslim, whatever. Whoever.
Calm, catch yourself.
Yeah, man, just take it
Take
easy,
time,
man.
take
Just go on,
time.
don't worry.
yeah.
Right.
So whether it be Muslim, Question, I'm against the oppression. Okay. But the jizya,
So are you against jizya then? If you're against oppression?
I'm against jizya when it is used as an art of oppression. I think if you look right throughout the history, when Omar, the second caliph, first got to Jerusalem, the people of Jerusalem mistaked him as the leader because his servant was in his court, and he mistaked his servant as the leader.
Something in this park, you know, I'm telling you, people's thoughts, man. No joke, man. I get it every week.
Can you see it flying around? No.
So when they first got to Jerusalem, the Jews asked the Christians, they were saying basically to the Muslims, the leader Omar, second caliph, to come and pray in their church. He said, I'm not going to pray in your church because the next Muslim leader might come and then he might try to change the church into a mosque. If you look at the history of when the Muslims actually went to Jerusalem, and the Christians and the Jews, they were saying that it was actually better practicing the religion. It was better.
Try and get out tonight. Try and get out tonight.
Was saying that the practicing the religion was better. And this is from Christian and Jewish, this is from Muslims. Yeah? The living as a Christian was better under the
Yeah, something definitely. I caught something a minute ago myself still. Yeah. Ain't gonna stop the truth coming out still.
Yeah, they said it was better. They said it was better to practice their religion under the Muslims than the Byzantines. So I'm not saying there wasn't times when the jizya was used oppressionally, but I'm saying that
It's not applicable today, that's what you're saying.
no, I'm saying that obviously the jizya, obviously there's different people that have different interpretations, but the jizya is less than the zakat, which is basically.
Go on. I'm aware what the zakat is. I know what the
jizya
zakat
is a tax in it, that's for the non-Muslims, but the tax for the Muslim is more, and you have to go to war. Now I'm sure there's other things that kind of
Hold on, can we just stick on that for a
Go
second?
on.
There's a difference between the zakat and the jizya.
Yeah.
The zakat is only for Muslims, and it's not a charity because it doesn't cater for anybody that's a non-Muslim. Did you know that?
Well, I don't know about that.
Right, that's a fact. The zakat is not a charity. It's in the Reliance of the Traveller, which is the Sharia law guidebook, that you can only pay money from the zakat to Muslims. It's not available for non-Muslims. It's not a charity. It's under a veil of deception. Do you hear that? Right, now let me talk about jizya. Jizya, I can prove it to you. I've got it here. The jizya is there to humiliate. It is a point to it. It's not just for protection. It's to humiliate someone. And that's the Jews and the Christians.
But what I'm saying,
Right.
in the
So
Byzantine, they didn't feel like that.
Say again?
When the Muslims went to Jerusalem, they didn't feel like that. But when the other ones invaded through Persia, they might have felt like that. So I'm saying the systems of the system.
Okay, so you're saying there's a time difference
Smoke, man.
in Islam. Are you saying Islam changes?
No. I'm saying based on the ruler, because obviously,
Okay. There were more lenient Islamic rulers than others. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Right. Okay. There were more lenient Islamic rulers than others. Like, for example, Abu Bakr was always trying to appease Muhammad and saying, you're a nutcase. Stop chopping people's heads off. He was more lenient, right? But because he wasn't the caliph, because he wasn't the main man, it wasn't his word that went. This is why Abu Bakr didn't want to give Muhammad his daughter. But you don't know about that? Aisha was Abu Bakr's daughter.
Yeah, I know that. I know that.
So, in other words, whatever Muhammad said had to go regardless. So, when you go through the caliphs, yes, there was some like, you spoke about Umar. Umar invaded a lot of countries. I've got it here. But he gave them the option. It's like he shouted it out. You know, like how a general will send people to a siege city and go, look, you've got three choices. You either come to Islam, you're going to die, or you pay the jizya. This is what Umar did. Now, this is relevant to the Quran, brother. The Quran doesn't stop according to Islamic law. It doesn't change because we're in the 20th century. It's just that the rulers, because they had a better conscience, chose to walk more leniently.
No.
Yes, brother, because if you go to the Quran as it is, and the real authentic Muslims, they talk about jihad, right, in all its aspects.
That was something
But
that was
listen,
created in the second.
you're trying to put it, brother, you're trying to put it in the 7th century, and
I'm
we have to establish,
I'm
therefore.
100% sure about that, bro.
We have to. Okay, so now you have to go with.
Jihad was struggle.
Right, what
Before
I'm-
that, jihad was struggle, and it represented the internal.
Let me read to you what Muhammad said about jihad. Because we're jumping all over the place, but I want to talk about one subject. All
I'm
right?
telling you before, it was an internal struggle, my brother.
Let's go to jihad.
Someone just 25 super chat said, Raspect, you are wrong.
Really? Big still.
The lack of knowledge about Islamic rules. I hear you still. Come down to the park and correct me, man. You get me?
The G still.
On the front line.
We'll find the jihad. Alright, okay, hold on, I'm trying to find...
What I'm very good at doing here is separating the Christian rulers or people that
Don't
claim
change the
themselves
subject,
Christian
Raspect. We're
rulers.
talking about jihad
And
now,
Islamic
brother.
religion.
Brother,
No,
stop
I'm just
jumping
saying,
around
like,
the
you have to
grasshopper.
separate
You keep
from
going
the
from
religion
jizya
and
to
what the religion
umar
is teaching
to
the people.
jihad. Brother,
Like that.
come on, man.
I
I've
hear
been
you,
talking for a
I
long
hear
time.
you.
I don't mind reasoning with you, but
Go on.
come
Go
on, man.
Uncle. Go on.
Alright,
What's your kid?
Alright.
I'm
Now-
the Undertaker, though. That's it.
It's all good. It's all good. Right. Now this is the tafsir for Surah 2946. Now what Surah 2946 is, let me read what the Quran says first. It says, and dispute ye not with the people of the book, except with means better than mere disputation. So you can't just argue, you have to do it better than that. And it gives you instructions how. It said, unless it be with those of them who inflict wrong and injury. Yeah, that's fair enough. Hold on, that's fair enough.
That's the key point.
Don't jump.
That's the key point.
Don't
Unless
jump.
it's in those who
Don't jump.
pain and injury.
Ooh.
That's the key
Huh?
point. I ain't gonna lie.
Fair enough, it's saying defend yourself. Common sense. But then it goes on, it says, we believe in the revelation which has come down to us and in that which came down to you. Our Allah and your Allah is one. And it is Him we bow to. Right. In Islam, in brackets.
And the Christian
Right, now, hold on, let me qualify
you
that.
lied in the sand like this, and you said the difference between me and you is that it's lied.
Let me read the tafsir on this. Now, you know what the tafsir is about, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to go to the top
I'm
tafsir.
not really a scholarly guy, but go on.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm just going to read you what their scholar, the best scholar they have, says about this verse. Now, this is under the veil I'm talking about. Ibn Kathir says about that verse we read, and speak to him mildly. This is the instructions that Muslims are given. Speak to him mildly. Perhaps he may accept admonition or fear. And it gives a quote of Surah 2044. Allah says here, and there's an Arabic. You can take a snapshot of this if you want. Except with such as them as do wrong. Fair enough, that was in the verse. Meaning those who turn away from the truth. I turn from the truth every week.
Yeah, but that's
Whoa,
interpretation.
I turn from the truth every week. So this is talking about me. It's talking about me. No,
That's interpretation, so I can't lie, Papa.
I do right. It says, except with those who do wrong.
You wrong,
Now,
what's wrong?
according to this, wrong is turning away from the truth. That's all it's qualifying it so far. Let me go on. Turning a blind eye to clear evidence. So someone should be showing me the Quran and I'm ignoring it. Being stubborn and arrogant. I'm not an arrogant man. If I am, I'll apologize for it. But then it says, in this case, if you're stubborn, in other words, I believe Jesus Christ is Lord. I believe that every one of us is a sinner, and I believe that Islam is of the devil, and no one can change my mind. So I qualify, because no one's going to move me from that. So this,
That third one.
no, right? And it says, in this case,
That third one. The other two.
in this case, you should progress from debate to combat, fighting them in such a way as to deter them from committing aggression against you, Allah says. So what do you think about that? Someone debating me, and the instruction given by Allah is that if I'm standing my ground and saying Jesus is Lord and Islam is of the devil, that Muslims should progress from debate to combat, to put me under the foot. That's Ibn Kathir.
I don't know. I ain't really into the interpretation.
What do you don't accept Ibn Kathir?
I'm not really that. Like,
Okay.
Obviously, because I can't.
Right. Ibn
because I
Kathir
can't-
is the
I
most
know who
premier
Ibn Kathir is,
scholar that Islam
but
has.
you have to be,
It's the top man.
No, but bro, you're acting like
He's
all
the best scholar.
No,
It's true,
no,
brother.
you're acting like all Muslims.
I'm not saying all Muslims follow this.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying this is what's under the veil of deception, hiding. This is the real deen of Islam. I'm not talking about the good Muslims who don't know about this, bro.
The thing is, when you take it out of the Quran verse is very clear.
You can't take it out. You can't take it out of the
No, but I'm
Quran.
saying the Quran verse is very clear that it's those who are fighting you and doing wrong. Very clear. Then,
it doesn't
man have
say
to
that.
take it out of the
Talking about
Quran.
debate.
So if anything, I'd
Talking
say
about
that
debate, bro.
that's a corruption of the Quran.
Talking about debate, bro. Debate. That's what it's talking about. Debating.
Yeah.
It says it should progress from debate. It's talking about.
I think that's a scholarly thing, but I think the Christian scholars
Okay,
at that same
that's
time.
fine, you don't want to
I
admit
think
it,
it's
that's
I
fine.
think the Christian scholars at that same time. If you
It
said
just seems wrong, doesn't it?
If you said Jesus was of the
But you
devil,
don't want to say. You don't want to say.
No.
You don't want to say because you got Muslim friends. You don't want to say. I can understand that.
When man
I can
say
understand
Jesus
the man
was the
don't want to
devil
defend,
under the
offend
Christian
people.
thing, they got burnt at a stake. You think you could say Jesus? You think you believe Jesus? You think a Muslim could stand up in a? No, listen.
You don't fear anybody. You don't fear anybody.
No, I'm saying a Muslim
So just
couldn't do
speak the
that in a
truth.
Christian
Just
state.
speak the truth.
I'm saying a Muslim,
Yeah.
even if a Christian said that they don't believe in certain things in the church, they was burnt on the stake as witches.
Right, are we changing the subject again,
No, I'm
bro?
just saying that actions and interpretations of scholars, yeah, super interpret. So okay, let me give you a good example, yeah.
boy.
The best Christian scholars, yeah, what they say is the biggest and best Christian scholars, yeah.
Give me an example of one.
They will be white and they will be from the Catholic Church and all of that. That's
Not
where
a race
that,
discussion.
no, it's not. That's where the
this is
best
fact.
scholars
You got
are.
more legs-
But
you got
don't
more legs
necessarily-
than that.
Bro, you don't necessarily follow.
more legs
Yeah,
than a
and
caterpillar.
most of the black Christians in this part don't follow those scholars' interpretations. You understand? But them scholars at one point use their
Let me explain
interpretations
to
of
you,
Bible.
brother.
They
Raspect, I
use the
understand.
Bible
Brother,
in
I
order to
understand. Let me
justify
explain it to you,
their
brother.
actions.
Remember
And
you
I'm
said you
saying-
don't
I'm
know.
saying
I understand what you're saying.
Muslims-
I understand what you're saying. But let me explain to you, right? Ibn Kathir is the most respected scholar in all Islamic jurisprudence. Do you understand what I just said to you? So if you question him as a Muslim, you go against the very deen of Islam. It's like only a rung below Muhammad. Go to Ali Dawah, Muhammad Hijab, go to anybody and ask him about Ibn Kathir. He's the one Muslims go to.
I would
Right?
like to
So
hear
if he
Muhammad
says
Hijab
something,
break that one down.
he's got correct interpretation of a verse.
That's what they say about the Catholic scholars as well. They say
Okay.
that they've got the correct interpretation. But it's not
Well, but I'm just trying to say to you.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. You
I
don't
hear
try.
what you're saying, and I don't agree with the scholar. If that's the
You don't
scholar's
agree with-
interpretation, I don't agree with it.
Let me
But I'd have to look into it
rephrase.
myself.
Let me rephrase your statement. You don't agree with the ethic.
No, like me, I do with the Quran. I don't really do with like.
That's my question. That's a question
from
to
the
you.
reading the
Do you
Quran,
agree
I
with
don't
the
see the
ethics?
corruption.
Do you agree with the ethic
I
I
can
just
see
read
other
you?
people's interpretations adding corruption, but I
Do you
can't see the
agree
corruption in actual Quran.
with the ethic of what Ibn Kathir has spoken about the way Muslims are supposed to operate?
I don't agree with what you said now.
Good.
But
Therefore,
I'd like to hear a
you
Muslim
know why?
explain.
You know
I'd
why?
like to hear a Muslim try to explain.
There's Muslims all over the park. Let me read you about jihad, bro. Let me read you about jihad.
Oh shit, Evo hit me with the chat is pagan. I let everyone
And there's many good-hearted Muslims here. In fact, the guy who was just here in the glasses is a new Muslim convert. It's a good man because he's just looking for God. But he's found a counterfeit, and you have to dig deep and put a counterfeit £5 note under the blue light to see it for what it is.
I think the Christians are saying that about Muslims. Muslims are saying that about Christians.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, brother?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
most
and most Muslims don't know about this. They're just taught to defend Muhammad parrot fashion.
But most.
But isn't that the same thing you're doing? Oh, sorry, Kane, is it? Isn't that the same thing you're doing? You're saying they're taught to defend with a passion.
Yeah.
Right now, you said you believe what you believe and no one can change that. Yeah, you know what's right.
True, but
yeah?
then
so
again...
aren't you doing the same exact thing
No,
you're
and I'll
accusing
tell
them
you
of?
why. I'll tell you why. Because I'm willing to take questions. I'm willing to have Jesus scrutinized. I'm willing to have the whole Christian faith put under the microscope and answer any questions that I can. And if I don't, I'm, God willing, humble enough to say I don't know. I'm not afraid of scrutiny because I know I have the truth. And this is how you know when someone has the truth, they're not afraid of scrutiny. Most Muslims, they start shaking. They start shaking once he starts scrutinizing Muhammad because they know Muhammad's behavior.
I say the layman.
Don't find me one.
I say the layman.
Okay, if they're a layman,
I'm saying.
Okay, but
Muhammad
if
hijab
they're,
ain't gonna
listen.
shake.
I said most Muslims start shaking. Muhammad hijab, God bless him, right, will try and change the subject. I'm not saying he's going to shake, he'll change the subject because he's aware of the real deen. So he uses taqiyya and he tries to divert away from the topic. No, it's not only Shia, it's practiced by all Muslims. This is what they tell you. Right?
I don't believe
right? And I'm talking about, I only mentioned the name, right, hijab, because I'm talking generically about a type of Orthodox Muslim that knows the deen and knows how to divert away from it using his brain.
Most Christians,
layman will just defend parrot fashion. Did you hear what I said to you? Layman will just defend parrot fashion, and a scholar or someone learned that wants to be able to sleep with children and beat his wife will divert away from the topic. Do you hear me, brother?
I don't think anyone's trying to sleep with children, though. Do you get it?
Okay.
I think there might be
Are you
people
willing
that
to
believe
stay
in
on this
verse.
topic? Are you willing to stay on this topic?
What do you mean this topic?
About sleeping with children. If I show you...
No, because you're saying...
I'll show you.
No, you're saying man them are justifying it solely
Yes,
to sleep
bro.
with
Yes,
children.
yes.
And I'm saying that most of the men that are probably justifying it, that take that stance, they probably ain't ever going to try and sleep with a child. So I'm saying that you're being a bit...
It's a good argument. It's a good argument. Let me respond.
I think mostly what they're trying to do...
Let me respond. Don't change the topic.
No,
stay there.
I'm saying I think mostly what some people try to do, and I think things look sticky upon people when they do it, is they see the verse, they think it's Sahih, so they try to make explanations.
They think it's what? They think it's authentic.
So they try to make explanations for what was happening in that time. But you're not going to see a man that's justifying it so that he can go then sleep with a 6-year-old. Okay. I don't think that's a genuine statement. And even amongst the people that think it's Sahih, there's whole sects and a whole denomination of Islam, Muslims, that have different interpretations of that whole Aisha thing. It's not every man that's going to come out here and say they believe Aisha was 6.
Right. Let me respond. When there's disagreement of that nature, brother, right? Muslims should always go back to the Quran, right, and the Hadith. And any Muslim that veers away from the Quran and Hadith is not a Muslim, because they're becoming apostate by A, not believing what Allah is supposed to have said in the Quran, and B, not being in full submission to Muhammad through the Hadith, because that's what they're commanded to do: obey Allah and obey the Messenger. So when you see a Muslim with a good conscience, they see the verse about sleeping with children. All right, hold on. Let me rephrase it. No, hold on. Let me rephrase it.
It's not a Quranic.
Let me rephrase it. The verse speaks about divorcing a child before she reaches puberty.
No, after puberty.
Wrong.
Wrong, isn't it? Yeah. After puberty. That's one thing you lot have been getting wrong with.
Okay, let's do this.
I know I broke this one down still. I know the man is thinking of pagan, but it's definitely broke down.
Okay, right. What? Right.